with us today, so,
Hi, Dan.
and he looks so nice and green where you are and warm.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't mean to rub it in. You've had a rough one.
Yeah, well, we're just here in the snow. Hope that'll go.
Sad, but there's always sledding, I guess.
Yeah, and shell trial, that lasts for 3 days and then it's done.
Then
It was over.
you're over it.
Over. That was it.
But it should be good for, I was thinking one good thing, the aquifer and all the wells are probably pretty good, right? Because of all the snow.
I I guess I'm not sure what the well depths are.
Yeah.
You just keep getting canceled because of snow.
What's that?
But silver lining.
Canceled because of
Oh,
snow.
it's canceled, yeah, so,
Well, once everything thaws and it all gets absorbed, they'll look good.
yeah. It's been a good year for precipitation. Okay, so calling the meeting to order, our agenda today is looking at the minutes from December 5th. If anybody has any comments from that meeting in the minutes, any additions or subtractions?
I move that we,
I would just maybe suggest we correct the typo in number 8, water main break, BREAK, right?
I vote,
Yep.
Spell check loved it, I'm sure, but otherwise I didn't see anything.
Okay. All right, if that's, I'll refer back to that because you did mention some things that we do want to cover today.
Do I have a vote?
Yeah. Well, he seconded it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Did you pass it? Did you say aye?
He seconded it, so all in favor?
All in favor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dan, did you have a chance to look at the minutes?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
No objection.
There we go.
The next item is our financial statement. And we currently have in our class account $145,472. That's the class account. And in December of 25, we had 146. So we lost $632, which has to do with the fluctuations in the market, unfortunately. So we didn't net increase, we lost a little bit.
That's probably as of some point in time, right?
What's that?
Is that in some point of time when you take the snapshots of those?
Yeah. Yep. Well, I get this monthly.
Oh,
We get
okay.
this monthly, so. Or quarterly. Maybe it's quarterly. Yeah. And then in our checking account, we have $282,853, which we keep $2,000 in the account for expenses. That's our base minimum. Any questions about this? And the other financial question was, have we received the bill from SQA for 2025? We have not yet received that. So we don't really know what our payment will be for last year. And Amber is still working on a amortization schedule to find out what the different scenarios are in paying back, whether we want to raise our rates or keep our rates the same and just continue to draw from our class account to pay off SQA with their 2 to 3% monthly increase that they're forecasting. So we're still looking into what is the best. We're going to have to raise our rates eventually. And then we did ask the customers in the letter that just went out if they would give us feedback as to what they would like to see happen.
Have
But
you
we have,
heard any feedback on the letter yet?
no. No.
I haven't either. Yeah.
No, so I mean, it could be that people, or hopefully people, as they start to think about spring and summer and coming out to their homes here, they will tune in a little bit more, but maybe, I don't know, I mean, we might have to put a second letter out asking for feedback. What do you guys think?
Well, my hunch is very few people would say, yes, raise the rates now. Everyone's kind of hoping that we can, well, if we've got money there, use it until we're desperate. And that could mean down the road, it's going to be a little bit of a hefty lift, but given how everything costs more right now, I doubt too many people are anxious to see another increased bill.
No, and judging by the customer survey, nobody wants the rates raised.
No, they do not, which makes sense.
But I just want people to understand that at some point in
There will be an
time,
implication.
it's
Yeah.
sort of inevitable.
Yeah, I think that message does have to, unfortunately, has to be conveyed because we don't have a choice.
Yeah. So we'll just drift until.
Well, no, this is a decision we should make. And when we make it, we should explain, and hope we're being coherent, we should explain why we're doing it.
Mhm.
And that should be, and as I recall, one of the things we kept talking about was also, how much money we really wanted to keep.
Right.
For reasons that we haven't really come up with yet.
Correct.
Correct.
Because we really do not have any more financial responsibility to
Right.
the system itself. But that doesn't mean we draw the well down to nothing. No pun intended. Well, do you want to talk about that at this point?
Well, why not? And I mean, otherwise it just drags on. So, what conceivably could crop up that we would need some money for? Or it would be good to have it, or do we want to, buy our own truckload of water for our pool? I mean, I have no idea. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't see where we have to put out any sizable amount of money. But I do think it's wise to hold on to a minimum amount. We can keep that or decide what that minimum is going to be, but I don't think we should run our fund dry. You say emergency, but I'm not sure what constitutes an emergency, given the fact that that SQA has.
Well,
gonna be
Amber or
taking care
Meg
of
need a
everything.
sudden loan for the town, and they would go to West Neck Water immediately. That's it. No, I can't think of anything.
No, I think we've discussed it in the past.
Yeah.
Does this decision on our part connect at all to what this bill's going to look like that comes in? Is that relevant or is that irrelevant?
It would be relevant. Yeah, and the last bill, when we were going over and they had to correct the bill for some things that just hadn't flowed through properly, it was kind of, the first or second year. And then the second bill was like $5,000. It was like greatly reduced from where we thought it was going to be, between 25 and 30,000. So usage was up enough to cover the differential, to give us more money. So less was pulled from the reserve balances. So right now, the clerk, the committee expenses, the clerk, those are basically the expenses that we need to cover to make sure we save some reserves. But if we get another low bill this year, it'll be, it'll give us more information, which to.
So it seems like we might want to wait and see whether that bill goes up or down before we could do a vote via email or something too, so we don't have to wait 3 months for this, but.
Well, I don't know where Joe Corney is. I think, but he can tell us when. I think May is when we can expect our bill, by May. Just gonna jot down. So we can hold this until the next meeting, but meanwhile, be thinking about it and hoping that perhaps, somebody will give feedback from the public.
I think, could I mention two thoughts?
Sure.
I think one, I think the optics are better to vote now and raise it now in the winter before people, are, as you say, coming and moving in and, getting ready for summer. It's one thing to just, announce it. I just think the timing is better now, just politically, versus when people are focusing on their opening their houses up. That's just one thought. And second, I think the argument is simple. We haven't raised rates and it's been 2-3 years, right? So it's like I don't know another service that provides water or power, given what people are aware of with their electric bills and things and trash bills and so on, and inflation, cost of living increase. I mean, I can't think of anything else that has done what you guys have done. So I think that's the messaging to me personally.
So, but we also didn't, last time we talked about, if they raise it 3%, we might do a 1% or
We did.
1.5%
That's
rather
right.
than pass everything on to
Yes.
the users.
Yeah, we did. That's what we talked about at our last meeting. We, not keeping up with them necessarily, but at least sort of,
Bumping it up a little bit
A little
so
bit,
that
right.
when, as we move forward, we're not going to hit somebody with a 8% raise in rates at some point. Because I think Dad has a point. I just also see a consumer saying, but wait, you have all this money in the bank and now you want more from us, and that's sitting there you don't need it anymore because you're not doing the infrastructure. So I could see them pushing back on that a little bit, but yeah, no one has responded, so
Right.
yet at least.
well, the bottom line is that if this 146,000 will last longer if we bump by 1% the rates. And, it'll just go further. And so we'll go over the cliff a little later down the line. So does the board want to vote or consider what it would be to raise the rates by 1%? Right now, the rates are, I'm sorry, I should have gotten this out to you, but the annual rate, and this is the access fee for residential, is $325.
For the year.
Yeah. For commercial, and this is based on usage, there are 3 tiers: 650, 1,000, and 2,500. And it depends again on how much they pump. So that's just the access fee. And that access fee was always dedicated to building our capital fund, if you will. Now, the metered usage fee, which we did raise when Scott took over the management, as part of that discussion, is currently, if you use 15,000 gallons annually, you pay $11.11 per 1,000 gallons. If you use between 15,000 and 30,000 gallons, you pay $14.65 per 1,000 gallons. And our bigger users, 30,000 gallons and more, they pay $19.19 per 1,000 gallons. So the average increase in between our rate structure prior to when we adopted this, it was quite substantial. It was 54%. We increased the rates.
The increase when we went to SQA.
Yes. So that was a hefty increase, which I think most people commented on the customer survey.
Right.
And because it was such a hefty increase, my own personal feeling was just let's put on the brakes for any further increase. Because it wasn't like we were incrementally raising the rates before that, which we probably in retrospect should have, but we had no idea we would be in the position of being managed by Suffolk County Water Authority, prior to 2019. It was when the town entered the discussion and we didn't have a water manager, then we were forced into this agreement, not forced, but, we entered this agreement and we had to raise our rates. But prior to that, we really didn't have a rate increase in many, many years. So just that little bit of historical information, do we still feel that a 1% increase would be advisable now?
Is that for the metered usage and the access fee?
That's what we are gonna, that's, we have to talk which one.
Oh, okay.
What do we want to take it from?
And what was your 25 words or less reason for doing this, madam?
Doing what?
Raising it 1%.
Well, because Suffolk County Water Authority has in their, publicly announced that they raise their rates between 2 to 3% annually.
Mhm.
That's just gonna happen every year.
Right.
So if we raise our rates 1%, we're staying with them, we're not falling behind.
No, but I'm thinking of not answering me, answering the customer who says, why? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. They're raising the rates 3%, and you're doing this 1%, and they're going to do it all the time. Are you going to do it all the time?
Well, what do you think?
Are
Should
you going to
we?
do it 1% every year to keep up with them?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it would seem that we have to do something every year. Again, we're still gonna fall behind by, 1 or 2%. But our $146,000 capital fund will last a little bit longer.
Which is supplementing everyone's payment and meeting the squad requirement.
No, 3:00. I'm just texting Joe back. He thought it started at 3:30.
I did just resend him the link, so he has it right.
Okay. So we can do a schedule and calculate what would it mean if we raised both the access fee and the rates by 1%. I mean, we could do it that way, or we could raise it. Go ahead, Dan.
I was going to say, I think if we just stood behind the core rate of inflation, over the last 3 years, it's within the bounds of any service like ours to raise rates, at least 2% per year, frankly. So I think it's less about what Suffolk's doing, less about, although it is, I think it's just about, every utility, writ large is dealing with inflation, that is meaningful and needs to be addressed. This board has not raised rates in, is it 2 years or 3 years? I can't remember.
It would be going on, well, it would be going on, we'll be going into our 4th year.
Yeah, so it's like I'm just saying, I'm trying to say, like, as a customer, I'm a customer, I get a letter that says we have not raised rates in 4 years due to a number of variables, inflation, costs, Suffolk passing on this and this. We're going to raise rates by 1.5%. If I got that letter, I'd be like, great. Wow. Thank God, when you're seeing what people are paying for electric and other things because of all the AI data centers, I mean, it's like, thank you. I'd write a thank you note to you as a
You
customer.
might be the only thank you note
I
we
was
would
just gonna
get.
say,
No, but I mean, when you think about it, what we're talking about 1%, I mean, or 1.5 it's not life-changing to, I think, anyone who's receiving the bill, truly, not to be cavalier, but I don't think it is. And it's in the context of there's been no raise for 4 years.
Yeah, but again, going back, that raise was a 54% increase.
I get it.
That was substantial.
But that
So,
that
you
came
know,
about, okay, so that came about because of the Suffolk transfer, right?
it did, yes, because we had to pay for the infrastructure, and so we had to raise rates to be able to, pay back
Got it.
our annual.
So if you didn't raise rates now, you're looking at a 10% per year for another year. Let's just say that's another way to look at it.
Have to really hit them hard at some point.
Right, I mean,
I think Dan makes really good point. If we're basing this on the economy and not on SWAP, it makes perfect sense.
well, I just looked up the inflation rate is 2.4%.
I'll point out, you're not even
So that,
taking
which
that,
pretty much
we're
lines
still-
up with
We're still subsidizing it.
what Suffolk County is raising their rates, maybe a little bit more than what is currently the inflation rate. So that's,
And you could look at the 54% as the way it should be presented, which was it was a one-time assessment in some ways, right?
that's true. Yes, it
It's not
was.
really about, it wasn't so much about the rates. It was about, look, we have to update, leaky infrastructure, right? So that, that happens if you're part of a co-op or things like that. You get those.
Yeah, I agree that it was an assessment. And as I said before, we didn't have a rate raise for many years prior to that. So, well, that is a discussion that we can continue to have. But Joe's here, so I'd like to let him do his SQUA report right now. And do we want to think about, before we go there, do we want to think about this rate raise and maybe jot some numbers down? Maybe I could get together with Amber and we could do look at some numbers and what they would mean for some households. And then in the meantime, like by our next meeting, we will have had the bill from SQUA for 2025, I think. And we could take a look at that and see if we're going to be paying, where are we? Are we going to be paying more? Or did usage go up or did it go down? We haven't had enough feedback and enough bills to create much of a history. It's sort of been up and down, and then 2020 threw everything off. So we should have about 3 years of historical usage this year that would be pretty firm to look at. Does that make sense to anybody?
Yeah.
So we can sort of look and say, okay, this is the trend.
I just
Now.
think we talked at length about this last meeting 3 months ago. We're talking about it now, and I think Dan does have a point. It'd be good to probably make a decision at some point, but maybe right after you got those figures and you can see how much of a hit is our money going to take this year, for 2025.
Well, could we make a motion, for instance, now to agree to have a vote by email once those numbers are, crunched, and be, in lieu of having another board meeting about this specific issue? Or do you need to make a motion like that?
We could even have a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, that's
We
fine.
could all Zoom in once we get the numbers and do it that way.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
prefer
right.
that to email.
I'm just thinking again, like the optics of like, when do you want to get the bad news? Like
Okay,
when you're opening, the house, or before you realize it.
Or the people that live here all the time are not going to get the bad news anytime.
Yeah, exactly. But what percentage are full-time versus, part-time? I'm curious.
That's a good question.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry?
I'm just curious, like what percentage of our customers are full-time residents that are using it year round versus, the spikes over the summer and things like that. I'm just curious. If you
We
had
used to
400
know what the percentage was of summer versus local. And we still have more summer users than year-round users.
Interesting to know that number,
We used to know it. We could do a summary of that.
just, which houses are occupied in the winter
Mhm.
on a regular basis in some form or fashion, just to kind of get a sense of.
Right. I mean, access fee is paid out no matter what, whether you're here or not. That's a static fee. But sure, we could look at that number. All right, so just so I have it straight here, we're going to look at an increase. Do we want to look at staying with inflation at 2.4%, 2%, or 1%? What's the board's feeling on that?
Well, I'm going with Dan's 1.5%,
1.5?
just as a
That's fine.
split the difference.
It sounds good. It sounds below the rate of inflation. You can point to it probably that, hey, Suffolk raised us 3 and we're cutting it in half. So we're it's a good
Okay.
argument. I mean, I feel like you can sell it well to the customer.
I don't know about well.
The 1.5 sounds like one of those thought about numbers.
Can I toss in just a mathematical
Sure.
comment? Right now, there's the Suffolk County water rate is probably, like what we have to pay to them is probably 50% of what the entire West Neck water rate is. So if you raise your rate 1%, that actually is giving you 2% to cover Suffolk County Water Authority's increase. Does that make sense, Matt? Like what I'm trying to say there?
Not to me.
No, there's some.
Let me see if I can say it again in a different way. So our West Neck water rate is twice what the Suffolk County cost is for getting the loan repayment, the
Loan repayment.
the service charge, like I'm trying to think what's
The annual service
Yeah.
surcharge,
Yes.
yeah.
So if we raise our rate 1%, we're covering 2% of a Suffolk County Water Authority rate increase. Because our rates are double what we need to cover their increase.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But our debt service remains the same year after year. So if we do a little bit of an increase, we're still only taking that one debt repayment amount. So the extra increase can cover Suffolk County Water Authority increase.
Which is good.
Yes.
So,
So it just tossing that out there. So if Suffolk County Water Authority went up 3% last year or this year, 1.5% should cover that.
right, yes, yep.
That work, like,
I'm still filtering.
yeah. That's why I'm thinking, I think a rate increase discussion with charts and graphs and, yeah, so.
Yeah, I think I need visuals on
Yeah,
this.
that's what I'm
This is
thinking.
not really,
Like,
but
it's working in my
I
brain. but-
appreciate what you're trying to illustrate for us, yeah.
So are we going to then try to do a specific Zoom meeting on this topic after you have some numbers and we can see what we're really looking at? Is that what the decision is?
I think so. I think Dan's point is, let's do it now before, in the winter.
Yeah, rather than wait until June.
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
decision's gonna have to be made and we might as well start doing it.
Do you want to do the numbers, Amber? Would you have time to?
Yeah, once, when we get the bill, we can sit down and,
Can we say that by the end of March, we could do this?
let's ask, well, do we want to wait until the next bill comes or just do it like by next month? Or by the end of the month?
My suggestion would be by the end of the month.
Okay. All right, then.
Because I think regardless of what the bill is going to be, we're going to have to talk about an increase anyway.
Then, yeah, let's just pick a date.
Okay?
Oh, God. I'm trying to find my old spreadsheet, I found my old spreadsheet, but not the one that updated it for the last 2 Suffolk County Water Authority bills. The old spreadsheet had us falling off the cliff, so to speak, in 2023. 2033.
30.
I was going to say that already happened. Did we
Yes,
fall?
I was gonna say, yeah, no, I'm looking at, yeah.
Are we waiting in the water?
Yeah, that was a year, but more information to be able to pivot on this. But that did take into account the was it 600,000 or 500,000?
500,000.
500,000 that we got, so that reduced the surcharge by $30,000.
Right, and I'm very interested to see what our final numbers are this year. Like, how much have we literally, that's why I'm waiting for the bill. How much of our surcharge have we actually paid?
Yeah.
I don't think it's an awful lot, but I don't know. And I'm looking for, and I really, that's something I was gonna bring up to Joe is, it would be nice because in our contract, we stipulated that we'd like to have those numbers more than annually at the end of the year. But we'll be satisfied with, I guess, looking at what our surcharge payment, what we're paying down every year.
May I suggest April 10th? Because the 3rd of April is Good Friday. And so if you want to meet, and that gives you, 27th is only like a week and a half away, or it's coming very fast.
Okay, does that work for everybody? April 10th?
Yeah.
Zoom meeting?
So,
Gives us a good amount of time to have. All right, we'll put it down.
If you folks need any kind of backup information prior to your meeting, my finance person, Stephanie Hannon, who I think, Amber, you probably have worked with already.
Yeah.
She'd be more than happy to spend some time with you and get whatever it is you need to make a good decision. Stephanie's more than competent. She could help you, I'm sure.
Okay. Between all of us, I'll write that down. All right, so we'll close that discussion for now, and thank you, Dan, for pushing it forward. Pushing us to deal with this very unpopular topic.
I get it. No, of course, I'm not Scrooge here. I get it. I totally understand. But
No, but it needs to be, we need to be realistic about it.
I think this meeting was also to talk about the package that you sent, right?
Yes, but right now on the agenda, we're going to ask Joe Caporni from Suffolk County Water Authority to give his report. And then we'll proceed to
Great.
the customer service survey update, which is after that. So thank you, Joe, for coming up and
Sure. Well, thank you, Lisa. I apologize. For some reason, I thought we were at 3:30 and I was.
it's always 3:00.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now that you say that, I should have remembered that. Yes. Not a lot to report at this point. I think I told you the other day, the two items that I have that are of most importance are the construction of the filtration and the hydropneumatic tank building that we want to put up there on the pump station property. We have spoken to Joe Fenora about it because they have the plans. They have an application. The site plan has been submitted and it needs to go to the planning board from what Joe tells us. So we have to go through this approval process. And I think the next planning board meeting is on March 10th. And I'm hopeful that it's going to get on that meeting agenda, although I have no control over that. Maybe I think maybe Joe is trying to usher that through so that it gets on the March 10th agenda, but I have no way of knowing. So if you'd like that.
No. Well, maybe you received the same note from Joe that I did, that the site plan application was filed, I think, Monday.
Yeah.
And the review is going to take a couple of weeks to complete. After that, if the town board has no objections, the building permit will be issued. So I don't know what that few weeks means. If either of you could comment on that.
yeah, it comes before the town board. We haven't had a site up pre-conference yet. And it does go out to subcommittees, so it's probably a month and a half before. It won't be March 16th, so it'll be on April 6th. We could set the public hearing for May something. April 27th.
So April 27th would be the meeting,
The public hearing.
public hearing.
Looking for approval May 18th. If we don't do a special to approve it. Right, yeah.
So after the public hearing, then what happens?
It goes back to the town board for discussion once we've heard from the public, and then it would get passed next town board meeting, unless, as Meg said, we do a special meeting to get it moving along faster.
So
But I think,
May?
I would say May 18th is a good, barring any hiccups.
Did you get that, Joe?
Well, I hear it. I mean, I'd love to get it earlier, but you know, if that's the way it works, then I guess we'll have to wait.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it took so long to get to this point, but because I thought it was filed
Yeah.
earlier than this.
Yep.
However, this is where we are.
Yep. So we have the hydrodynamic tank. The filters are on order. The filter delivery time, I think, was probably 4 or 5 months. So it doesn't kill us with respect to that, but it would be nice to break ground and get the foundation in as soon as possible so that when the filters came, we would ship them right to the site and put them in place.
And I know that people are anxious to get this
Oh, yeah,
filtration system in.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so that's that issue. Like I said, to me, that's the biggest issue right now. And then the next issue, and I want to point out that this was one of the reasons why you got into an operations agreement with the Suffolk County Water Authority. This was one of the benefits in that, remember, this was not contemplated when we inked
Right.
our initial agreement, right? We were going to replace the distribution system and a couple of wells, and we've done that, and that's all part of the surcharge. But as we had told you at the time, now that you're a part of the Suffolk County Water Authority customer base, you know, these capital improvements, when they do come up, they're basically borne by the rest of the ratepayers in Suffolk County.
Mhm.
So you're benefiting from that already. So anyway, I just wanted to just remind you of that if you
Right.
are thinking about that. The other issue is the water main extension for the Bloom family there and that subdivision. And once again, oh, okay. Hello, Mrs. Bloom, how are you? As I told you, we submitted that to the DEC quite a while ago. They came back and they asked us for some additional information. We submitted that to them quite a while ago, and we're still waiting for them to respond. We reached out to the analyst about a week ago at the DEC, and she said she's waiting for some internal department at the DEC to make their assessment and you know, give us approval to go forward. This is, you know, this type of thing. We do these every day on the mainland, and we don't need approval from anybody to do it, which means we can get water to anybody at any time, almost overnight. But in this case, because we're expanding the district, we have to go through this process.
Mm.
I have a question.
You want to come up? Sure, come on up, Barbara.
I have one question because on the other end of the application, Matt Sherman heard from the Department of Health. And their question was, they want to put on the survey, like where the hookup or vaults are gonna go.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know if we have to wait until the DEC is finished with their investigation, if you will, or
Yeah.
can we just tell them like it's gonna go down the middle of both driveways and the middle of the property on 69 North Monantic? Or should we wait until,
Barbara, do you have an engineer?
yeah, Matt Sherman?
Yeah. So, I mean, you could have your engineer talk to our new service department. I could give you Brendan Warner's phone number.
Okay,
Talk to him directly, and he can talk with the engineer and give him a rough idea of where the vaults are going to be set.
mhm,
I think we can do that without approval from the DEC because they're not going to comment on that.
Because at least, you know, the health department takes as long as the DEC, so, I mean,
Ah.
if you know where they're gonna go once they're allowed, I
Yeah.
can keep moving forward with them at their snail's pace as well.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
all right, if you give us Brendan's number.
So
I'll-
yeah, so feel free, I'll let Brendan know your engineer's gonna call him, but he's at 563-0239,
Okay, great, thanks so much.
okay?
All
And let him
righty,
know that I told you to call him.
okay, thanks for your help.
Okay, I'm sorry it's taking so long.
It's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's their process. All right, and
Well,
just to update you all, that's where we're at, as well, waiting on the DEC, and that's why I'll keep moving with the health department, so
Yeah.
hopefully they're both ready at the same time.
Yep.
Let's have a party when it actually happens.
Still haven't- Again, I would assume that you know where the mains are gonna go, so I can sort of answer that question.
Yeah, it should be pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I
All right,
would
yeah,
imagine your engineer would have to have that information for the,
Yeah, the health department wants
Right?
it added to the survey.
yes, yeah.
If we know where they're gonna go, I can just tell them,
Mhm.
tell them to put it there. Okay, thanks so much.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
it
you.
is unfortunate that every time we want to expand the district, we have to go through this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a real, it's gonna be really a lengthy process, and
Yeah.
too bad.
Okay.
Okay, Barbara.
All right, bye, Barbara. Yeah, I'm not sure what to tell you, Lisa. That's the way it works. That's the process.
It's the state.
Yeah. You could turn the water district over to the Suffolk County Water Authority and you wouldn't have to go through this.
Well, that's a discussion the town will have to have at some point.
I know.
I'm not sure I'll be around, but somebody will have that discussion,
Yeah.
because there's definitely a need in more parts of the island.
Yep.
All right, well, if that's all you have, anybody have any questions for Joe? Any comments about your water, pressure, color, anything?
Been fine.
Everything's been good?
So far, so good.
Lisa, you had called during that cold snap about shutting off that one home, and we did that. I'm not sure if it was that night or the day after,
Yeah,
but so they were shut off. So I don't, nothing else transpired after that.
well, thank you for bringing that up, Joe, because that is another question. And that is, well, it's twofold. Number one, the house is unoccupied, and it was not heated well. So there was fear that there would be a break.
Sure.
And the resident wasn't in the house, and I'm not sure that the person who lives there will be back in the house. But it does bring up a question, which is, if someone hasn't paid their bill, because you mentioned a couple bills hadn't been paid, what West Neck Water used to do is put liens on the property, especially if we could foresee that the property was going to be sold at some point in the near future.
Yeah.
And it was a costly undertaking, but yet at the time, we still wanted to recoup our loss.
Yep.
So I think, is that how you proceed? Is that how Suffolk County
Well,
proceeds? And is that our responsibility, or is that your responsibility? And I don't know what that,
that's
answer.
a really good question.
and the town can weigh in on this as well.
Yeah, from what I understand, we will not lien the properties of the district. We have a management agreement with you folks,
Correct.
and so our agreement is with you folks.
Right.
And we're not going to necessarily lien somebody. So we would work with you to try to get the money collected. As
Right.
that would be the preferred way to do it. But
So I guess it goes back to the town.
again, I'd have to take a closer look at the agreement to see exactly what we do with something like this, but that's the way I understand it.
Well, in our management agreement, there's no reference to this.
I don't think so. No, I think it references our rules and regulations. Our rules and regulations would allow us to lien, but because there's a management agreement, I don't know that we can lien. Because again, our agreement is with you folks. It's directly with the town and it's not with the individual customer. Like if they were direct customers of the Suffolk County Water Authority.
Would this be something that your lawyers would weigh in on?
I can have them check into it. Yeah.
Would
And
our
maybe-
lawyers?
Well, we had something similar in Daring Harbor not too long ago, and the customer had a very, very high bill, astronomically high. And, we were trying to get them to collect. We were trying to collect the revenue from them. And finally, the village stepped in and the village negotiated the payment for the high bill. And the village wound up eating part of the payment.
We don't want to do that.
Well, but that's the emblematic
Right.
of what I'm talking about. The relationship over there is just like it is with West Neck.
That's
Yeah.
correct, yeah.
We have a relationship with the village, not necessarily the customers. The legal agreement is with the village, and in your case, the town. So I can talk more with our attorneys about what we would do, whether there's a way to streamline this. Hold on for just a second. I'm sorry.
Well, what do you, Amber or Meg, what do you think
I gotta call you
with
back.
regards to,
I'm putting it on the town attorney's list. To look at the management agreement. But
okay,
I think it's on us, because if they don't pay Suffolk County Water Authority, then we don't get credit for that, so
Yeah.
that the rest of the
That's right.
district is paying for it.
so we definitely want to pursue this. And I know the cost of a lien is, it could be higher than what's owed, I don't know, but it's still, we need to have some legal recourse, because there's always one or two properties that, and this one in particular is probably going to
Yeah.
be out of our hands.
You anticipate that's what's going to happen with this particular person?
I'm speculating, but it looks like it may go in that direction.
Okay.
Dan, do you have any input on this?
No, not really. I mean,
Okay,
it seems like you're totally in the right place with it. So it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but yeah, I think I think in these situations, all I've seen in previous like boards with these things is just like a steady progression, that shows, our version, our paper trail, our desire to resolve peacefully, and then each step escalating to a place where it gets,
And that's how we typically operate, Dan. Well,
yeah.
We're not the big bad water company that's going to come down and take your house.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We'd like to resolve it amongst all of us. Obviously, if we provided water to somebody in service, we'd like to be compensated for that.
Of course, yeah.
Only fair,
Yeah. That's yeah, it seems really perfect.
Yeah.
The
So
way
like in the case of Daring Harbor, the village acted as like an intermediary to get it resolved. And it may be that the town needs to do that in a case like this too,
Mhm.
in some way.
okay, you had mentioned a couple of properties that, that had been overdue, delinquent for a substantial amount of time. So I know you gave me the list.
I
I'm gonna
sent you
ask-
something, right? Yeah,
Could you send it again?
sure.
Because I don't know where it went.
Okay.
If you could send it again, and then we could look at how long these properties are overdue. How much are they overdue? Is it worth it to put a lien on the property?
Yep.
What the
I mean,
policy?
maybe this is a question for Amber, but I mean, in the case of something like this where it's a town-run district and the town is directly involved with the water authority, do you have to go, can you just put it on their taxes? I mean, is there a streamlined mechanism for you to be able to charge somebody for not paying their water bill? Since it's a town
We've done it
district?
before.
I think there's a process that needs to be gone through. I think that's why
Uh-huh.
like they used to lien it.
Yeah,
Because when we were much closer to it, we never put it on someone's tax bill.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know exactly the answer, but historical practice.
and I don't think legally you can do that.
Yeah, I think to put something on a tax bill, there's a lot of machinations that need to
Yeah,
happen first.
So can we leave this with you to find out from Thomas is
Yeah,
it?
I've already added it to this list.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we look forward to,
I
And
mean,
then-
yeah, so I'll get you I'll have Stephanie run a new arrears report,
yes,
and I'll get you that. And then I think we probably need to start discussing, how we go forward in the future when folks, are in arrears. and
yeah,
How we address that.
yeah, we have to have a policy in place here.
A systematic, step by step, what happens.
I think we asked this last time, and you may have told us when we can expect our 2025 bill.
I asked Stephanie, she said that you settled up last in July, I think she said.
Okay, I thought it was
So-
late.
I don't know if that was, I'm not sure if that's the regular schedule or what. But I'll find out that also with Stephanie.
Yeah, we paid it in October because you and I were looking at it.
That's right. I think May is what's sticking out in my head.
The cutoff.
That's when the cutoff is,
Yes,
and then we get it
is.
in July.
Right, that would make sense because that was around the signing of the agreement, right? It was
That's
May,
right.
end of May.
Okay. So I think in light of that, we have to go ahead with our rate raise discussion, as Dan suggested now, and not necessarily wait for our invoice. Because
So we're not doing it in April, we're doing it right this second?
no, we're doing it in April.
Okay, that's fine.
But we're not
yeah,
going
no.
to get anything from,
No,
we're
that's
not
all
going to
right.
get
That's
our
okay.
2025
I think we agreed to
invoice.
that anyway.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well,
All
I
right,
guess, over the years, actually, things have been working out relatively well with respect to revenues. You've been able to stave off a rate increase and not dip into much of your capital accumulation fund. So that's kind of the good news that you've been able to do that for this long. And you know what? I'll ask Stephanie. You also would like an amortization schedule, or
That is correct, yes.
okay.
That would be great.
Let me get you one of those too.
Yep.
The check that we cut to them last October was $1,577. So
That's pretty good.
we did not eat it into reserves.
That's pretty good.
Very much.
Right. So it's justifying an increase, the reserve, and our expenditures. It's trying to make sense of all of this
Yeah.
to give to our customers.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm not sure I know how to construct that in my own mind.
And we've been raising our rates all along. Every year we raise our rates. And it usually is in the area of 3 to 3.5%.
Oh, it went up, Joe. You said it was
Yeah.
between 2 and 3% last time.
Well, you know what? Let's figure
Yeah.
3%. It's in that area of 3%.
Okay, well, inflation's at 2.4 generally, so it's slightly higher than inflation.
Yeah.
Okay, if anybody from the Zoom audience has any questions for Joe? Comments? Am I missing anything, forgetting anything? The last item or the next item, Joe, that we're going to do is we're going to go through our very antiquated rules and regulations, which pretty much are null and void. So, and we're going to, this was 2010, so it doesn't even apply anymore.
Yep.
And what the board is going to look at the Suffolk County Water Authority rules and regulations, but then we also want to speak with the town with regards to what do they want us to create as far as rules. Do we need to be in the town code somewhere? Is there anything in the town code that covers municipal water districts? I don't believe there is. So I'm just asking you if there's any comment that you want to make with regards to this discussion.
I don't think I have any comment at this point.
Okay.
No.
All right.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Okay.
We'll see you in whenever, I don't know.
June.
Back
June.
in the pumping season, yes, back when
And
we're,
we will hopefully see you putting in that tank and filtration system.
I'd be more than happy to be doing it. You get me the
I know you
approval,
would.
we'll get right on it. Okay?
Oh, yeah, and the pumping, how is, I haven't looked at the pumping reports. Are we pretty much staying static with what we historically?
Well, it's winter, so we're down probably at, 150,000 gallons a month or so. Not very much.
Yeah,
We don't pump much this time of year.
yeah.
Joe, does the snow pack help at all? Like, in the sense that on years when you get more snow, does that help the wells long term in some way?
Well, Dan, I'm not necessarily sure whether it's helpful because, you get a foot of snow and that's equivalent to just an inch or two of rain. Uh, but it definitely changes the way it recharges, right? Because the snow melts slowly, and instead of you getting this mad rush of rain that runs right down into the bay and the harbor,
Yeah,
you probably get more percolation as a result of that as snow melts.
yeah.
So, but
Make,
I cannot quantify that for you. It's been nice that we've been getting some rain lately. Hopefully, we'll have a rainy spring. Um, but yeah, so unfortunately I can't really tell you much more than that. Intuitively, it seems like it help a little bit, but again, a foot of snow is really not a lot of rain.
That reminds me of one question that we had asked about a month ago. The WAC, can't remember which well, was very low. And so we threw it to you. You said you would ask your hydrologists. It
Yeah,
was like an anomaly.
I thought I responded to that.
We didn't get anything back with regards to
Let me see
even a
if I can.
ballpark answer of what that
Let's
could.
see if I can give you what the ballpark answer was that I got, if I have it. That was probably before the first of the year that you asked that question, right?
It was quite a while ago. I can't remember specifically
Let's
when.
see. I asked somebody to talk to the USGS.
Right.
I think he came back to me with something.
Well, if you could shoot me, if you'd find the answer, if you could shoot it to me, I mean, because the request came from the WAC, our Water Advisory Committee. So if anything turns up, but it was a substantial low number compared to the other wells, monitoring wells.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually had a conversation about this with respect to what it actually was. Was the data the elevation of the water, or was it the difference in the water table relative to ground surface? And you may find this interesting, down 11 inches in precipitation, nothing major, just normal semi-drought conditions on Shelter Island. They were putting in a water level transmitter in a monitor well at West Neck, so we'd actually have live data.
Yeah,
May have that very shortly, actually.
the USGS.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, yep.
Let me go back and talk with them. I can't find the answer that he gave me about that.
Okay, and meanwhile, I'll go back to the WAC and see if they had resolved or come any closer to why there was that discrepancy.
Yeah, but I see they even sent me a picture of the instrument that they put in the monitor well, so it's there. It's got a cellular phone connection on it, and it'll provide live data on water.
That wasn't the well in question.
No, it wasn't. No, I understand that. Yep. Let me see if I can get an answer on that. I don't see it in my emails.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to send me the delinquent accounts again?
Yes. Yep.
And this information.
Let's see if I can get you an amortization schedule.
Amortization schedule.
When the next bill is. And then, like I said, I'll talk with my attorneys and finance about whether there's, how we should address, if there's a better way to address delinquent accounts going forward.
Okay. And the town will work on it on this end as well.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Okay. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
Thanks, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so the next item is, what do we want to do about the rules and regulations that have no bearing really anymore? They're irrelevant to,
Well, it seems you really need to start from scratch.
do we need them?
Well, do we need, with our obvious lack of powers, do we need rules and regulations? Because they're not our rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Kind of amazed, if someone is delinquent and stays delinquent, who has enforcing powers? And
That's what we're,
but for what? Yeah, well, it's our job to go and
Yeah,
pound
but
on
why
their
should it
door.
be our job? I don't,
well, I think we're sort of in a gray area here.
Yeah.
We used to operate pretty much by ourselves. So now we have, there's three heads of this hydra. There's Suffolk County Water Authority, but they're not an enforcer, they're only the manager. And then there's us that make decisions and go to the town. But really, it seems to me that the town has to make these legal decisions about
Yeah.
how we operate.
right.
That's so, and the town has not really,
Well, who has the right to shut off the spigot?
you mean for non-payment?
Yeah.
Well, we do. The
Town or us?
the town, the municipal water
Dan?
district.
Dan's job.
Send Dan to do that.
That's right. I know a lot of Teamsters
You're
from,
the enforcer, Dan.
I got a lot of Teamster friends, I'll tell you, so.
I mean, in the
I
past,
haven't-
we've done it. We've just said to
Yeah.
our water manager, go shut off their water.
But this is before the town. really
Yes, to
took
know.
ownership or asserted ownership.
Yeah.
So it seems to me at this point, it would be the town, Meg, what do you?
Yeah, I mean, there are some cases where we have policy documents, so it's not necessarily in the code, it's not necessarily law, but there are like rules and regulations that apply to certain things. Like we have that for docks, like there's rules and regulations that apply to the public dock that aren't necessarily in our town code. So you could have something like that, I would think, you could have a policy document that explains the things like no in-ground sprinkler systems, rules that you guys have that Suffolk County Water Authority does not have. And those were some rules that the Water Authority appreciated you having because it didn't let the system get abused. So you may want to look and see if there are some rules, regulations, or conditions that you guys had in your policy documents that Suffolk County Water Authority does not have in theirs.
Right.
And maybe keep those and make a smaller, more succinct policy document, just explaining like do's and don'ts. And also maybe repercussions of not paying your bill, what the process is for dealing with that, and that's something we'll kind of get outlined by Thomas for us, so that
Yes.
everybody knows what the expectation is and what the consequences are. And maybe just lay that out cleanly and succinctly.
That's a really good point, Megan. A good example is in the 2010 rules and regulations. All water that goes into your pool has to be trucked from off island. That's one. And the other important one was there can be no irrigation other than handheld, your sprinkler can.
Right.
Okay, so we'll send Dan when he's back. I'll go with you. We'll knock on every door and say, what's going on in your house? So who enforces that? Much less who even has the
department.
power to check?
So the question.
Should we have such things?
What about asking Daring Harbor if they have such a document?
We could.
I mean.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I can find
Why
out.
don't you find out what they?
All right, I can find out, because, I mean, they have a similar relationship with SQUA that we do, but they've had it for longer.
Yes.
So do they have another set of regulations, or they just default to what they say? And, I mean, Meg's suggestion, I think, is a really good one, is what's kind of unique to our situation here, given the fact that we're on Shelter Island, that
Well,
we want to retain?
the irrigation committee just went through, we're now going through the irrigation code, the irrigation clause in the code, And in my opinion, that should be, West Neck Water District should follow the town irrigation code. And the stipulations thereof about
Right.
dropped in water for your pool, all of that is going to be covered. So I think that we can defer to the town on that.
Which makes sense, because then enforcement is on the town, where it probably properly should be, not the 4 or 5 of us.
Right. Yep, and we can't really enforce it
Does
anyway.
the town have a record of enforcing that or even exposing it?
Yeah.
Of irrigation violations? Yeah,
Water department
when we,
does.
when we catch them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then we don't need that at all.
No, we're moving, okay, so I looked through this,
Yeah.
as you did, and I did as Meg suggested here, which is to go through and like, for example, application for water service, that is made through Suffolk County Water Authority. No one shouldn't have to make an application, or should they? Does the town think it's advisable for applications like Barbara to come through the town, or should it go directly to SQUA? Now, the feeling was before, it should go through the town, the application process, and then, then the SQUA application gets put in place, because the town has a way of monitoring expansion and has on record the details.
Well, plus the squad doesn't own everything here.
No, we do.
Right, so that, as you pointed out with that example, they have to come to us first. It'd be easy if they could just go to SQUA would just say, sure, we'll just throw up more piping. But they have to go through this process because we are already a defined district here. So they'd have to come here with the town and do all of that paperwork. It's a little bit different than their friends who live in Sag Harbor, maybe, that don't have to do any of that.
It's not, we're really at the cusp of a whole new sort of administration of municipal water here. And it's how much do we, who takes precedence? How much are we willing to give over to SQUA to do legally? What is their responsibility? What do they want to be responsible for? What does the town want to give them the responsibility? Do we want to have the application process be part of our purview, or do we want it totally to go to SQUA? So these are just questions that we've never really asked
But
before.
SQUA says it can't take an application.
Right,
It can't because,
we own the district, the town owns the district. So in order to expand the district, the town needs to first give permission, and then SQUA helps with the application. So I think a lot of those kind of questions were hammered out in the management agreement with Suffolk County Water Authority. And those were kind of like the terms and conditions of the agreement. Like, we sorted out what the process would be to expand the district, who's kind of responsible for what, is all laid out in that document.
And the public at the time, when we were going through the process, that was, I think the majority of the public did want to maintain town control over the district. And the town board at the time took that to heart and put that into the agreement.
So it's really streamlining the whole process.
Yeah.
Like, where is the application? Is it at the building department? Is it here? Does West Neck Water have any role in it? Or is it simply, does somebody just come to the shelter on the town? And it's figuring out
Yes.
where it should go, who should go where, who's responsible.
We need a flow chart.
yeah,
So it's,
thinking that.
yes,
Just thinking flow chart.
a flow chart.
If it's a spreadsheet, that's me. Flow charts, that's me.
I'm just going to very quickly go through this, because then we have, the specifications about, in our rules and regulations, which of course now we defer to SQUA's regulations as to where they put the openings. Oh, I'm sort of just rambling.
What
Page 8,
Page
service
8?
lines. Yeah,
Oh.
the specifications about service lines.
Well, I think all of this has to be replaced by squads, but wouldn't it?
Well, I'm asking the question.
May I raise one question?
Yes.
So I had a recent thing where our employee manual for our company was 10 years old or more, sort of pre everything, that's happened over the last 10 years. And it still worked and everybody liked it. But when we had a new hire, they pointed out a couple things that was not in there. And so I thought one of my friends has started an AI law firm using AI for law. And he said, why don't you just put it through, ChatGPT and ask, what could be updated in the employee manual. And what was amazing was it referenced all of California labor law that we were not addressing in the thing in terms of certain things, and gave us a list of like 20 items, in a very clear, coherent way. And then I took that document, gave it to my lawyer friend, and he drafted an addendum that goes with our employee manual that they now get in addition to that. And one of the things I wanted to propose was to take the um, schedule of rules and things that you have, the PDF, get whatever we need from the town as well as a document, and anything from Suffolk Water in terms of their things, and try to use some of the AI programs to ask, what if you were updating this, would you want to do it? And it's not going to be perfect or by any means something you could send out, but it will give you, I predict, a very clear path to creating a new document. And I think one of the things, like, I mean, just in looking it over myself, obviously updating it with the um, Suffolk, county stuff and the rate schedule and, the fee schedules and all that stuff. And, what happens with irrigation and the aquifer and all that. So I think, I mean, all of those things will be probably processed in a way and articulated in a way that could really save the board a lot of time. And I just wanted to put that out there just from my own experience recently.
I think that's a great idea. I really do. I think that, yeah, AI, if you feed PDFs into it, it can compare them. It can highlight things that are in ours that aren't in the other two, or when there's conflicts.
Yeah.
And at least that gives you a kind of a draft to then go and sit down and combine or make decisions rather than trying to wade paragraph by paragraph and go look up stuff.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do the first round of that and then just send it back to everybody.
Great.
Then we can do it.
Okay, you're
So,
on.
But I think the
Great.
thing that I found is that it does hallucinate. So that's why, like, we have to be the end users on it.
We know that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I'm sure it's listening to us right now. So I'm just joking. AI. Don't
Well,
don't
I think that-
type out my computer for that. But I think that it's just I think it's going to be really useful and helpful, and also it tends to put things in a way that I think it will be clear and concise and helpful to all of us. So what I would need is, I have the document you sent, the revised one.
Okay,
I have that.
you mean, you're talking about the rules and regulations?
Yeah, I've got the rules and regulations for, the 17 page. So if you could send me anything from the
I'll
town
send you,
or
well, we have Suffolk County Water Authority rules and regulations, which I have.
Yeah.
I can send you that, but there is some information that needs to come from the town. Like, for example, and this is where I was going with street openings and excavations, like setbacks. And does the town have any, do we have to follow the code with regard to putting water mains in the road and on property? Like, are there specific instructions about that we need to be aware of? Because,
So would that be on zoning?
yeah, so that information,
So feed that one in there as well
Yeah,
and see if there's
feed
any
the zoning.
overlap.
I mean, I can do that. I can look at that
Yeah.
at zoning. And then the other thing is, there's this is a little problematic, and I don't think I even want to get into it right now, but discontinuance of service, that's something that I think that we'd have to talk to Suffolk County Water Authority.
Well, see
It's-
what they have in their rules and regulations, because I'm sure they have to spell out to the public if there's a discontinuation of service, don't you think?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure they do. I mean, they either turn it off, or I say I don't want it anymore, or something. There's got to be a process. I mean, I think, I really like Dan's point. Let's just feed all of this in and then see what's missing, see what falls through the cracks. It might require we go out elsewhere.
So I would
Okay.
say, so I'll take the West Neck document that we have. You'll send me the Suffolk document. And then maybe the thing to add from the town is
The management agreement.
either the management agreement or I was thinking also, you know how what's online? I don't know if there's a PDF of that, but there's a the building code from the building department and things like that. Is there anything in there about water or things like that
Town code.
on the town? On the town website, it has all the rules of the town.
Yeah, the town code.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there anything
whole code?
Is there anything on that about water or what it relates to
Well,
us?
the irrigation,
Irrigation, yeah. So
the
maybe
irrigation section is something that the town is currently working on to reword.
got it.
I'm not sure how helpful it would be.
Okay.
It
Well,
wouldn't be
I could-
helpful at this point,
I could just look at what they currently have
but
and
what would be
Yeah.
zoning?
maybe, I don't know. I'll look at it. I'll go on the town website and see if there's anything I can paste in there. And then what
Okay,
I'll also do is I'll use two different versions because I use Claude for some things and we use Chat for like more visual stuff. So I'll put it through both and we can
that's
compare.
great, Dan. Thank you for taking this on. That
Yeah,
would be,
yeah, happy to do
yeah,
it.
be really good.
It'll take like 5 minutes, which is scary. You know how
Yeah,
easy.
that's really scary.
Yeah.
Great.
All right, so and then you can send it to us.
Yeah, I'll send it to the group as soon
And
as
so my encouragement would be, can we all check in on our town email? Like maybe once a week just to see or what Dan's got going?
yeah, I'll
If
get
it
it.
says 3 days, that's remarkable.
Once you get me the PDFs, you'll have it back within 48 hours, I promise.
Right, and I'll send the new rate, because that was in our old rules and regulations.
Just send them everything.
Yeah.
Well, he's just going to feed it into this program, and they'll pick out what they need or don't need. I mean, I think that's better to put in too much information than not enough.
And I
I'm
also
just
think
trying to think about what.
I
we
want
need
to be
send it.
clear. I don't think there's anything proprietary or something that isn't in the public domain already, correct? So all of this exists publicly. So it's not like
Yeah, it's all.
we're giving confidential document something.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
okay, we'll
See what
act
it
on
comes
that.
up with.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, it certainly will save an awful lot of
Yeah.
work.
Well, and it'll do that cross tabulation to see what's in one versus another and highlight where they clash or where they complement or what one has versus another. And I
Yeah.
think that's exactly what we're trying to do, but it'd be much more efficient.
Okay. Do either one of you, off the top of your head, can you think of any other, anything else that should be input or that we need to be considerate about, consider?
Well, you know, once you
Or putting-
produce this document, if you think, oh, we should add another, you just run that other against the one it produces and it will, it'll respond to it.
I think you have all the key components.
Okay. Okay, well, that's good, very good. Customer service survey update, we haven't received, Jessica hasn't received any feedback from the letter that went out and the customer survey. So hopefully we'll get something. And if not, do we want to ask the public? I already asked this, but we'll do it within the body of the meeting here. Do we want to put another blast out to customers asking them about this? Or do we just want to proceed with our discussion about the rate increase and spring it on them?
Let's wait. I'm very excited about seeing the amalgamation of these three papers and the structure it gives us for moving forward.
Okay. You're right, and then we'll have our Zoom meeting. All right. Is there any, moving down to new business, is there anything anybody wants to bring up, discuss, comment on? I mean, I think we've covered an awful lot of territory here, which is good. No? And from the audience, anybody have any comments or concerns? Well, then I move to close the meeting.
Second?
Second.
Hi.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
And
Have a great one.
I look forward to working with you, Dan, on this. This is great.
All right, yeah,